All right, let's dive right in. The entire tech and auto world is buzzing about one thing right now. Tesla has a secret new product, and we're going to unpack it. So, back in early October 2023, Tesla did what Tesla does best. They dropped this bombshell announcement. Just out of the blue, they said a mysterious new product was on its way. And you guessed it, the internet just exploded with excitement and speculation. So, what in the world is Tesla about to show us? That's the million-dollar question, right? It's got everyone guessing, and in this explainer, we're going to break down the most likely possibilities. But hold on. Before we get into the theories, you got to understand how Tesla creates this incredible level of anticipation. I mean, they have a playbook for this, and it works like a charm every single time. See, Tesla's marketing genius is that they're not just selling cars, they're selling a story, a narrative. It all starts with a mystery, something to get their super passionate community talking. That buzz generates a ton of free publicity, what the industry calls earned media. And then, of course, the whole thing gets supercharged by Elon Musk himself. And when you put it side by side with traditional car companies, the difference is just night and day, right? Legacy automakers are spending billions on TV ads, print ads, the old school stuff. Tesla? They rely almost entirely on social buzz. They create an event so big, so compelling, that the media has no choice but to cover it for free. It saves them a fortune and makes their announcements feel way more organic and exciting. And, right at the center of this whole machine is Elon Musk. His use of social media, it's not just a side thing. It's a core part of the strategy. He announces things directly, he jumps in and answers questions from fans, and shares his unfiltered thoughts. It totally humanizes what would otherwise be a giant, faceless corporation. He builds a direct connection that no corporate press release could ever dream of. Okay, so with all that in mind, what's actually in the box? Well, based on all the hints, the leaks, and a whole lot of analysis, the speculation has really boiled down to three leading theories. All right, possibility number one, and honestly, this is the one that most people are really, really hoping for. It's a mass-market, lower-priced Tesla, a car that people have nicknamed the Model 2. If this is it, it would be an absolute game-changer. Yeah, it's all about making Tesla accessible. We're talking about a vehicle with a much, much lower price point, something that could bring the brand within reach for millions of new buyers. And from what sources are suggesting, it would probably have a conventional steering wheel and normal controls, so it's not going to be like the super futuristic robotaxi. The goal here is simple: boost sales volume, like dramatically. Okay, on to possibility number two. This one's a little more on the conservative side, an updated or maybe even a stripped-down, more affordable version of the Model Y, which is already just massively popular. So you might be asking, why would they do that? Well, a couple of reasons. Analysts have pointed out that the latest Model Y refresh has had kind of weak demand, so rolling out a new lower-cost version could be a really smart strategic move to juice sales in the short term. It could act as a bridge, a stopgap until the all-new models they're planning for 2025 are ready. It's just a practical, business-savvy play. And then we have possibility number three. This is the wild card, the most radical one, the long-awaited, fully autonomous robotaxi, sometimes called the cybercab. Yeah, this is the one that leans hard into Tesla's sci-fi vision of the future. And the vision for this thing is, well, it's massive. We're talking about completely disrupting the entire ride-hailing industry, think Uber and Lyft, and opening up these huge new revenue streams for the company. Now, its exact look, the features, that's all still a big secret. But the launch has been teased for a while now, so it's a very real, even if it is very futuristic, possibility for this reveal. Okay, so those are the theories, but why does this specific launch matter so much right now? Well, it's because Tesla isn't the only game in town anymore, not by a long shot. The EV battlefield is getting incredibly crowded and super competitive. Just take a look at this. While Tesla is still projected to hold a really strong 20% of the market by 2025, you can see the competition is closing in and fast. You've got these formidable rivals, especially from China, like BYD, and they are rising at a pretty astonishing rate. And of course, the legacy automakers are finally getting their act together and ramping up their own EV offerings. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Listen to what Elon Musk himself had to say about it. He called Chinese car companies the most competitive in the world. He basically said that without trade barriers, they would demolish most other car companies. So yeah, he's framing this not just as a business challenge, but as a massive, almost existential threat. So, to put their current position into perspective, Tesla sold over 1.3 million cars back in 2022. That's an incredible number, no doubt, but their goal is to push way past 2 million every year. To do that, they absolutely have to maintain their momentum, and that pressure from all this new competition is just immense. And you better believe investors are watching all of this very, very closely. On one hand, there's a ton of optimism around Tesla's work in AI and their energy solutions, but that's balanced by some serious concerns. We're talking about project delays and, like we've been saying, this intense new competition. It's this constant tug of war, and you can see it reflected in the stock price, which makes every single product launch a super high-stakes event. Okay, so we've talked about investors, we've talked about the competition, but let's bring it back. Why does any of this matter to you? Well, for anyone out there who's even thinking about buying an electric car, there are usually a few key hurdles, right? And what's the biggest one? Affordability. It's the number one concern for most people, followed pretty closely by worries about range and finding a place to charge. And this is exactly where Tesla's next move becomes so important for everyone. I mean, if they reveal an affordable Model 2, that would tackle the number one consumer concern head-on. Plus, new models almost always mean better battery tech, which is a huge help for that range anxiety everyone talks about. So this isn't just about selling more cars. It's about making their core mission of sustainable energy actually accessible to way more people. Which brings us to one final huge question. We've laid out the theories, and we understand the stakes are incredibly high. In a world where the EV competition is fiercer than it's ever been, is this next secret weapon, whatever it is, going to be enough to keep Tesla at the top of the mountain and secure its future? I guess we're all about to find out.